Captain Laura Martinez stood at the viewport of the Stellar Pioneer, watching as the extraction drones maneuvered another chunk of uranium-rich rock into the processing bay. The Kuiper Belt's endless field of icy rocks stretched out before her, scattered with the telltale blue glow of radiation signatures that had become as familiar to her as streetlights back on Earth. Processing Bay 3 at 70% capacity, Captain, reported Ming Chen, her chief engineer, without looking up from his console. His fingers danced across the holographic display, adjusting the automated extraction parameters. We should hit our quota 2 days ahead of schedule. Laura nodded, allowing herself a small smile. The Stellar Pioneer might not be the most prestigious vessel in Earth's mining fleet, but her crew knew their jobs inside and out. Good work, Ming. How are the radiation levels? Standard background readings. Nothing our shielding can't handle. Ming paused, frowning at his display. Though I am picking up some unusual electromagnetic disturbances in Sector 7. Before Laura could respond, the ship's AI chimed in. Captain, detecting an approaching vessel. Configuration unknown. No match in Earth database. The bridge crew froze for a moment before training kicked in. Laura straightened her uniform jacket. Sound General Quarters. Bring us to Condition Yellow. A soft amber light filled the bridge as warning tones echoed through the ship. Sarah Wong, the communications officer, spoke up from her station. Captain, we're receiving a transmission. It's like nothing I've ever seen. The encoding is incredible. Can you decode it? Sarah's fingers flew across her console. The AI is adapting. There, putting it on speakers. The voice that filled the bridge was clearly synthetic, a translation algorithm struggling to convert alien concepts into English. Human vessel, cease extraction activities immediately. You are in danger. The material you are processing is classified as a Class 1 hazard by Galactic Council Emergency Protocol 7249B. Please respond. Laura exchanged glances with her crew. First contact, happening right here on her mining vessel. She took a deep breath and nodded to Sarah. This is Captain Laura Martinez of the Earth vessel Stellar Pioneer. We are conducting standard uranium extraction operations. Our safety protocols are fully compliant with Earth regulations. Please identify yourself. There was a pause before the response came. This is Emergency Response Vessel Valkyrie of the Galactic Council. Human vessel. Did you say uranium extraction? You are deliberately collecting radioactive materials. Affirmative, Laura replied, puzzled by the obvious concern in the translator's tone. The Stellar Pioneer is specifically designed for safe handling and transport of nuclear materials. Another pause, longer this time. When the alien voice returned, it carried a note of what could only be described as horror. Our scans indicate your vessel contains minimal radiation shielding by Council standards. We detect unprotected biological entities. Yourselves, in direct proximity to what we designate as star death. How are you still alive? Ming couldn't suppress a chuckle. Minimal shielding. This is military-grade protection. Laura held up a hand to quiet him. Our species has extensive experience handling radioactive materials. We've been doing it safely for over 2 centuries. Perhaps we could discuss this in person. I'd be happy to show you our safety protocols. The response was immediate and agitated. Direct contact is impossible. Your entire vessel is contaminated beyond safety parameters. We must insist you follow our escort to a containment facility. The danger. With respect, Laura interrupted, an idea forming. If you're concerned about radiation, would you be interested in seeing our latest radiation-hardened environmental suits? We use them for exterior maintenance in high radiation zones. They might help put your minds at ease about meeting in person. The silence that followed was telling. Finally, the alien voice returned, thick with disbelief. You go outside, in high radiation zones, intentionally. Laura smiled. First contact might not have gone quite as the diplomatic corps had planned, but she had a feeling humanity had just made quite an impression on their new galactic neighbors. Ambassador Zerlixi stepped out of the containment shuttle wearing what humans would later describe as a walking tank. The protective suit stood 3 meters tall, its crystalline armor gleaming under Earth's sun. Behind the ambassador, 5 other members of the Galactic Council's diplomatic team emerged in similar gear, their environmental sensors blinking rapidly. The radiation levels here are beyond acceptable parameters. The ambassador's translated voice crackled through external speakers. How can your species survive in such conditions? Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's chief diplomat for the historic meeting, managed to hide her amusement. She stood confidently in her standard business suit, a small radiation badge pinned to her lapel, standard procedure for all government officials. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador. I assure you, our background radiation levels are well within safe limits for human biology. The alien delegation moved cautiously across the landing pad of the United Earth Diplomatic Center in Geneva. Their suits' heavy footfalls echoed across the courtyard, drawing curious glances from passers-by enjoying their lunch breaks in the nearby park. Impossible, muttered one of the alien scientists, his sensors whirring. There are unprotected humans consuming nutrition in an open environment contaminated with radiation. Elena gestured toward the park. What you're detecting is natural background radiation. Earth's geology includes numerous radioactive elements. Our biology evolved alongside it. The youngest member of the alien delegation, Junior Diplomat Kex, moved closer to examine a flowering cherry tree. His suit's sensors sparked with activity. The plant life. It's incorporating radioactive particles into its cellular structure, yet it thrives. Perhaps we should continue this discussion inside, Elena suggested, leading them toward the building. We've prepared a presentation on humanity's relationship with nuclear science. The delegation entered the conference room, their massive suits barely fitting through the reinforced doors. The lights dimmed, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing the history of human nuclear research. As you can see, Elena explained, advancing through images of medical facilities, power plants, and research centers, we've integrated nuclear technology into many aspects of our society. Here's one of our latest advances: targeted radiation therapy for cancer treatment. Ambassador Zerlixi's suit took an involuntary step backward as the hologram displayed doctors working with radiotherapy equipment. You deliberately expose sick humans to radiation for healing. Precisely, Elena smiled. By carefully controlling the dose and targeting specific cells, we can eliminate harmful growths while minimizing damage to healthy tissue. Our bodies are remarkably adept at repairing radiation damage. Junior Diplomat Kex leaned forward, his suit's sensors processing everything. Fascinating. And these humans in the hologram, they work with this equipment daily. With proper safety protocols, yes. In fact, Elena activated another display. Here's a live feed from one of our nuclear power plants. Notice how our engineers conduct routine maintenance wearing only basic protective suits. The aliens watched in stunned silence as human workers moved efficiently through the facility, handling materials that their own species couldn't approach within kilometers without dying instantly. Ambassador, Kex's translated voice carried an undercurrent of excitement. This changes everything we thought we knew about biological adaptation to radiation. The implications for stellar exploration alone. Indeed. Ambassador Zerlixi interrupted, their suit's analytical systems still struggling to process the reality before them. Dr. Rodriguez, my team has many questions. It seems we must revise our understanding of what constitutes safe radiation levels, at least where humans are concerned. Elena nodded, pulling up the next set of slides. We're happy to share our knowledge. Though I must admit, we're equally curious about your radiation protection technology. Those suits, for instance. A fair exchange, the ambassador agreed, watching in continued amazement as another group of humans strolled past the window, completely unprotected in what their instruments insisted was a lethal environment. It seems we have much to learn from each other. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the emergency broadcast with growing concern as the holographic display showed the devastating wave of radiation sweeping through the Proxima colony chain. The Galactic Council's emergency session chamber had erupted into chaos, with representatives from 17 species talking over each other in panic. "The containment fields are failing," announced the Proxima colonial administrator, their translated voice sharp with fear. "We have 20,000 colonists in the path of the radiation front. Our evacuation ships can't approach within safe distance." Sarah glanced at her radiation badge out of habit, still green, despite the Council's insistence on keeping their chamber radiation-proof to an extent that seemed excessive to human standards. She stood up from her observer's seat, straightening her United Earth diplomatic uniform. "Speaker of the Council," she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Earth requests permission to address the chamber." The speaker, a towering crystalline being named Arxix, turned their sensory clusters toward her. "Granted, Earth representative. Though I fail to see how." "We can save them," Sarah stated simply, activating her personal holoprojector. The chamber fell silent as images of Earth's nuclear emergency response teams appeared in the center of the room. "These are our specialists. They're trained specifically for high radiation environments." Junior Diplomat Kex, who had been present at the first diplomatic meeting on Earth months ago, moved forward in their environmental suit. "Dr. Chen, even with your species' unusual radiation tolerance, the levels in the Proxima chain are beyond anything recorded on your planet." Sarah smiled, advancing her presentation to show the latest generation of human radiation suits. "We've been studying your protective technology, Diplomat Kex. Our engineers have incorporated elements of your crystalline shielding into our existing designs. We can have teams on site within 12 hours. "Impossible," declared one of the senior council members. "The radiation levels would be manageable with our new equipment," Sarah interrupted firmly. She brought up the specifications. "Our teams regularly handle radiation levels that your species considers lethal. With these improved suits, we can operate in environments up to 50 times more radioactive than our standard protection allows." The colonial administrator's hologram flickered. "The colonists. Many are already showing signs of radiation sickness. Our medical technology can't." "We've also developed treatments for radiation exposure," Sarah explained, sensing the chamber's shift from skepticism to desperate hope. "Our medical teams are ready to deploy with the necessary equipment and supplies." The speaker's crystalline form vibrated in what Sarah had learned was their species' equivalent of deep thought. "The human proposal is noted. However, the logistics of such an operation." A new alarm cut through the chamber. The colonial administrator's image grew more agitated. "Primary containment failing in Colony 7. 5,000 colonists. We're losing their life signs." "We don't have time for debate," Sarah declared, already activating her emergency comlink. "The Neptune base response teams are prepped and ready. We just need your authorization to enter Council space." The chamber erupted again, but this time Junior Diplomat Kex moved to stand beside her. "Speaker, I have personally witnessed human radiation resistance. If they believe they can help." The speaker raised their primary appendage for silence. "The Council recognizes Earth's expertise in these matters. Authorization granted. Dr. Chen, your teams may proceed." Sarah was already transmitting before the speaker finished. "Neptune Base, this is Chen. Operation Starfall is go. Launch all teams. Emergency protocols." She turned back to the Council as her comlink filled with acknowledgments from Earth's rescue teams. "Our ships are launching now. We'll need all available data on the colony's life support systems and structural layouts." The colonial administrator's hologram seemed to sag with relief. "Transmitting everything now. And thank you." "Save your thanks until after we get your people out," Sarah replied, watching as her holo display showed the first rescue ships breaking orbit from Neptune base. We're about to show you exactly what humans can do in a radiation crisis. Commander Maya Patel stood in the airlock of emergency response vessel, Curie, watching the radiation warning indicators flash red across her helmet display. Through the reinforced viewport, she could see Colony 7's main dome, its shield generators sputtering weakly against the violet glow of the radiation storm. "Team leads, sound off," she ordered, checking the seals on her new hybrid tech suit one final time. "Medical team ready," Dr. James Rodriguez reported. "Radiation treatment units prepped. Engineering team standing by. Li Wei confirmed. Portable shielding is charged. External sensors reading radiation levels at 47 times normal emergency parameters," the Curie's AI announced. "Local atmospheric ionization increasing." Maya nodded inside her helmet. "Remember your training. We've handled Chernobyl cleanup sites. This is just a bigger version of that. Move fast, stay focused, and keep your suit integrity monitors up." The airlock cycled, and Maya led her team across the landing pad. Their boots magnetized automatically, anchoring them against the artificial gravity fluctuations caused by the failing colony systems. Behind them, 3 more Earth ships were landing, their teams deploying in a choreographed rescue operation. Inside the colony's emergency airlock, they found their first group of survivors. Alien colonists huddled together, their natural bioluminescence dimmed by radiation sickness. A medical officer from their species stood nearby in a failing protective suit, staring at the humans in disbelief. How are you even standing?" the alien medic asked through their translator. "Our instruments indicate." Later, Maya interrupted gently. "Dr. Rodriguez, start treatment. Wei, get those shield generators stabilized. The rest of you with me. We've got 4 more levels to sweep." The human teams moved with practiced efficiency. Rodriguez's medical unit began administering radiation treatments, while Wei's engineers deployed portable shield generators that immediately strengthened the colony's failing defenses. Maya led her search team deeper into the colony. They found more survivors on each level, many already showing severe radiation poisoning. The human medics worked quickly, their specialized treatments proving effective even on alien physiologies. "Commander," Wei called over the comm. "Main shield generator is fried. Radiation has crystallized the primary coils. But these designs, if we reverse the polarity and route power through our portable units." "Do it," Maya ordered, helping another group of colonists toward the treatment area. "Just keep the shields up until we get everyone out." Hours passed in a blur of rescue operations. Maya's team moved methodically through the colony, their suits' advanced sensors locating survivors hidden in sealed rooms and emergency shelters. The radiation levels continued to climb, but the new hybrid suits held firm. From the colony's observation deck, council officials watched in amazement as the humans worked. The rescue teams moved through radiation zones that would kill most species instantly, their only protection being suits that seemed impossibly thin compared to standard council radiation gear. "Status report." Dr. Chen's voice came through on the command channel from the council chamber. "Colony 7 is nearly evacuated," Maya reported, helping an elderly alien into a medical transport. Wei's team has stabilized the shield generators. Rodriguez reports all treated survivors are showing improvement. No casualties since our arrival. The other colonies. Teams report similar progress. The new suits are performing above expectations. We'll have this wrapped up ahead of schedule. A junior engineer nearby was recording readings on their suits' data systems. "Commander, you should see these radiation levels. This is incredible data for the research teams back home." Maya smiled inside her helmet. Trust humans to find a scientific opportunity in the middle of a rescue operation. She turned back to help another group of survivors, not noticing the looks of awe from the alien officials observing through their heavily shielded windows. To them, they weren't just watching a rescue operation. They were witnessing the impossible. Humans walking calmly through the deadliest environment known to galactic science, saving lives as casually as if they were walking through a park back on Earth. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display floating above her lab table, her eyes wide with amazement. Beside her, junior diplomat Kex leaned forward in their environmental suit, their sensor arrays humming as they analyzed the data. "Look at this sequence here." Sarah pointed to a strand of human DNA magnified 1,000,000 times. "We always knew humans had exceptional DNA repair mechanisms, but we never understood why they were so different from other Earth species." The lab around them buzzed with activity as human and alien scientists worked together, analyzing data from the Proxima rescue operation. The joint research project had been Sarah's idea, an opportunity to understand why humans could survive radiation levels that proved lethal to other species. "The radiation exposure data from the rescue teams is remarkable," Kex observed, manipulating the hologram to overlay the DNA repair patterns with radiation exposure readings. Their cellular repair rates actually increased during the operation. Sarah nodded, pulling up another display showing cellular samples from the rescue team members. "It's not just repair. Their cells are adapting, becoming more resistant. Each exposure makes them stronger, up to a point." "Impossible," declared one of the alien scientists from across the room. "Radiation damage is cumulative. It cannot provide beneficial effects." "That's what we thought too," Sarah replied, switching the display to show Earth's geological history. "But look at this. Early Earth had radiation levels far higher than today, while other species evolved to avoid radiation. Humans evolved to thrive in it," Kex finished, their translator barely able to contain their excitement. "The very thing that should have prevented life from developing on your planet instead shaped it." The lab's main screen filled with data from prehistoric human settlements. These sites show evidence of human habitation in areas with naturally high radiation levels, Sarah explained. "While other animals avoided these regions, our ancestors were drawn to them. The caves provided shelter. The mineral springs provided water. And each generation grew more resistant," Kex added, their scientific curiosity overriding their species' natural fear of radiation. "But this pattern here, in the repair sequence, it's similar to the radiation patterns found in stellar nurseries," Sarah confirmed. "Exactly. Somehow, human DNA evolved to use mechanisms similar to those found in star-forming regions. We're literally children of the stars." The lab fell silent as the implications sank in. A young alien researcher raised their appendage. "Could this adaptation be replicated?" "Theoretically," Sarah began, but Kex interrupted. "More importantly, we could use this understanding to develop better radiation protection for other species. The human repair mechanism could be the key to making stellar exploration safer for everyone." Sarah smiled, remembering the amazed looks on the aliens' faces when her rescue teams had walked straight into radiation zones that would have killed any other known species. "The rescue operation proved we can operate in environments no one thought possible. With this research, we could revolutionize space travel," Kex finished. "There are thousands of systems we've never explored because of radiation levels, with human teams leading the way, protected by technology based on your natural adaptations." "The galaxy just got a lot smaller," Sarah agreed, already imagining the possibilities. She turned to address the entire lab. "Let's focus on understanding the exact mechanisms. If we can map out how our cells achieve this repair process." The lab burst into activity again, alien and human scientists working side by side. Fear of radiation had kept species apart for millennia, but now humanity's unique relationship with it was bringing them together. Sarah watched as Kex eagerly examined another data set. Their initial terror of radiation transformed into scientific fascination. Outside the lab's windows, Earth's sun set in a glorious display of radiation that humans had evolved to see as beautiful rather than deadly. Sarah smiled, thinking how perspective really did change everything. The observation deck of Space Station Resilience hung in high orbit above Earth, its transparent walls offering a spectacular view of humanity's homeworld. Captain Maya Patil stood beside junior diplomat Kex, both watching as the latest group of alien scientists arrived in their shuttles. "Remember when your people wouldn't come within 1,000 kilometers of a human vessel?" Maya asked, smiling as she recalled their first encounters. "Now look at us." Kex's environmental suit had been streamlined thanks to human radiation handling technology, allowing for more natural movement. The Council's perspective has shifted considerably. Your species' unique abilities have opened doors we thought forever closed. Below them, Earth gleamed like a jewel. The station's radiation sensors, calibrated to alien safety standards, blinked their perpetual warnings that both Maya and Kex now ignored. "Director Chen is ready for the presentation," announced the station's eye. "All delegates have arrived." Maya straightened her uniform, now adorned with the newly created Interstellar Radiation Response Force insignia. "Time to show them what we've been working on." The presentation chamber was packed with representatives from 30 different species. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the center, surrounded by holographic displays showing star systems previously considered too dangerous to explore. "For millennia," Sarah began, "radiation has been the ultimate barrier to deep space exploration. Today, that changes." She gestured, and a new hologram appeared, a ship unlike anything in Earth's or the Council's fleet. "The ISV Pioneer," Sarah continued, "represents our first joint venture in stellar exploration. Human radiation resistance combined with Council technology has created something revolutionary." The delegates murmured as the ship's specifications appeared. Maya felt pride surge through her. She would be commanding the Pioneer on its maiden voyage. "The ship's core systems," Sarah explained, "are operated by human crews, protected by our enhanced radiation suits. The research sections house Council scientists, protected by adaptation of our DNA repair techniques into their environmental systems." A Proxima Chain representative raised their appendage. "The radiation levels in unexplored systems will be manageable." Maya stepped forward. "We've tested the systems extensively. The Pioneer can operate in radiation zones 5 times more intense than those we encountered during the Proxima rescue." Kex moved to stand beside them. "As Chief Science Officer for the mission, I can confirm the safety protocols exceed all Council standards. Human innovation has transformed our understanding of what's possible." The hologram shifted to show their planned expedition route. Systems that had been marked as fatal hazards for generations now appeared as bright points of possibility. "We're not just exploring," Sarah continued. "Each system we survey brings new opportunities. Resource-rich worlds previously too dangerous to mine. Ancient ruins on radiation-soaked planets. Scientific phenomena we've only theorized about." Maya activated her personal display, showing the crew manifest. "We've selected teams from both human and Council space programs. Every mission will advance our understanding of radiation-resistant technology. And more importantly," Kex added, their translator conveying genuine emotion, "show how our species can work together. The very force that kept us apart now brings us closer." The chamber erupted in discussion as delegates examined the data. Sarah smiled at Maya. "Ready to make history, Captain." Maya looked out at the gathered species, former radiation-fearing aliens now eager to venture into the unknown alongside humans. "The real question is the universe ready for us?" "The Pioneer launches in 1 standard week," Sarah announced to the chamber. "Humanity is honored to help open these new frontiers. Together, we'll explore stars that have waited billions of years to share their secrets." Above them, through the station's transparent ceiling, those very stars twinkled. To most species, they were distant points of deadly radiation. But to humans, they had always been beacons calling them home. Now, at last, they could answer that call and bring their new allies with them. Captain Maya Patil knew something was wrong the moment her radiation badge shifted from green to yellow. She stood on the bridge of ISV Pioneer, watching as her crew responded to multiple alarms. Engineering reports sudden radiation spikes in all sectors. Lieutenant Wei announced, his fingers dancing across the control panels. "The containment systems are functioning normally, but radiation levels keep climbing. Maya's eyes narrowed. After 3 successful expeditions into high radiation systems, she knew every quirk of her ship's systems. This wasn't normal behavior. Status of the research section, she demanded. Council scientists are secure in their protected zones, Wei reported. But these readings, it's like the radiation is being channeled somehow. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice cut through on the emergency channel. Pioneer, this is Earth Command. We're detecting similar radiation anomalies at 3 other joint operation facilities. This isn't a coincidence. Junior Diplomat Kex burst onto the bridge, their streamlined environment suits sensors blinking rapidly. Captain, I've decoded a pattern in the radiation surges. They match controlled emissions from stellar engineering projects. Maya's mind raced. Someone's deliberately causing this. But the technical knowledge required. Multiple saboteurs, Kex confirmed, plugging their suits' systems directly into the ship's computers. The radiation is being precisely directed. They're trying to force an evacuation of all human-alien joint projects. The ship shuddered as another radiation wave hit. Maya watched her badge edge toward orange. Even with human radiation resistance, these levels would soon become dangerous. Wei, start emergency protocols for the Council science teams, Maya ordered. Sarah, are you seeing this data? Confirmed. Sarah's voice was tight with concentration. The pattern suggests access to both human and Council radiation technology. This is an inside job. Maya turned to Kex. Your people's fear of radiation. It runs deep in your culture, doesn't it? Yes, Kex admitted. There are some who believe working with humans goes against nature itself. They see our cooperation as a dangerous corruption of. Another alarm blared. Radiation approaching critical levels in Research Lab 3, Wei reported. Council safety protocols are demanding immediate evacuation. Maya felt the weight of command settle on her shoulders. Everything they'd built, the trust, the cooperation, the shared dreams of exploration, balanced on this moment. No evacuation, she declared. Wei, reroute power from the main drives to the containment systems. Kex, help me trace these radiation patterns. If they're using our own technology against us, we can turn it back on them. The Council scientists, Wei started, but Maya cut him off. Are protected by systems we designed together, she finished. Trust in what we've built. Her crew moved with practiced efficiency, human and alien working in perfect synchronization. Kex's sensor analysis combined with Wei's engineering expertise began to reveal the saboteurs' methods. There, Kex pointed to a complex pattern in the data. They're using modified versions of the radiation channeling technology from the Proxima rescue operation. Sarah, Maya called. Are you seeing these signatures? Can you track them? Already on it, Sarah replied. We've identified source points near each affected facility. Security teams are moving in. Maya smiled grimly. The saboteurs had made one crucial mistake. They assumed fear of radiation would force an evacuation. They didn't understand that humans had long since learned to master their fear, to turn radiation from an enemy into a tool. Wei, prepare to initiate Pattern Omega, she ordered. Let's show them what the deadliest species in the universe can really do with radiation. The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. They had trained for this, prepared for those who might resist the new era of cooperation. Now it was time to prove that humanity's greatest perceived weakness was about to become their greatest weapon in defending everything they'd built together. Pattern Omega unfolded with precision that would have seemed impossible just months earlier. Captain Maya Patel stood at her command station, watching as human and alien technology worked in perfect harmony. Radiation containment fields reversing polarity, Lieutenant Wei reported, his hand steady on the controls, channeling the saboteurs' own emissions back to their source points. On the main screen, dots of light showed their opponents' locations, trapped by their own weapons. Junior Diplomat Kex's sensors tracked each one, their modified environmental suit now serving as a sophisticated detection system. Security teams are moving in. Sarah Chen's voice came through clear and confident from Earth Command. The saboteurs didn't expect us to be able to trace radiation patterns this precisely. Their own shielding is working against them. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Status of the research sections. All council scientists present and accounted for, Kex reported. Not a single evacuation. They're shaken, but... They paused, their translator struggling to convey emotion. They chose to trust in what we built together. The ship's radiation badges have begun shifting back toward green as waste countermeasures took effect. Across the bridge, human crew members worked alongside alien colleagues, their former fears of radiation transformed into understanding and respect. Final saboteur group located, Sarah announced. They're in custody. You should hear their explanation, Maya. They thought flooding our facilities with radiation would force humans to reveal our true weakness. Instead, we showed them our true strength, Maya finished. Not just our radiation resistance, but our ability to turn understanding into protection for others. Kex moved to the main science station, their streamlined suit a testament to how far their people had come. The radiation patterns they used, we can adapt them. Create more efficient shielding, better containment systems. Even their sabotage attempt becomes a stepping stone. We nodded, already analyzing the data. The main screen shifted to show the Galactic Council chamber, where representatives from across known space had gathered to witness the resolution. Dr. Chen stood among them, no longer seeming out of place in her simple radiation badge among their environmental suits. The Council has reached a decision, Sarah announced. They're not just maintaining the joint exploration program, they're expanding it. What happened today proved that our partnership transcends old fears. Maya looked around her bridge, at humans and aliens working side by side. From the first uranium miners who sparked first contact, to the rescue teams at Proxima, to this moment. Each step had brought them closer together. Captain, Kex called, excitement clear in their translated voice. Long-range sensors are picking up something remarkable. That neutron star system we detected last week. The radiation patterns suggest possible artificial structures. Ancient ruins preserved by radiation that kept others away. Maya mused. Exactly the kind of discovery we were meant to make together. The bridge crew gathered around the sensor displays, their former divisions forgotten in the face of scientific wonder. Through the main viewport, stars beckoned. No longer deadly barriers, but gateways to new understanding. Plot a course, Maya ordered. Let's show the universe what happens when we face our fears and turn them into bridges. The ISV Pioneer's engines hummed to life, carrying human and alien deeper into the mysteries of space. Behind them, the saboteurs' stolen radiation technology was already being repurposed into better protective systems, their attempt to divide species becoming yet another tool for unity. In the end, the deadliest material in the universe had proven to be neither radiation nor fear, but ignorance. And humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't their radiation resistance. It was their ability to transform the very forces that once inspired terror into foundations for a shared future among the stars.